Hi again, this is Mike, the Philosopher Engineer. Today, we'll have Mike's Saturday Rant. So Mike's Saturday Rant today, the topic is philosophy and math. I love philosophy and math. I think they're very important. But my rant today is that often people seem to have a bad reaction to philosophy and math. I don't know what it is about our educational system, but many people come out with this sort of feeling of, I'm no good at math. And when you start talking about math, a lot of people, even engineers, are reluctant to get into the math. That's unfortunate. But math's really essential. And philosophy is fundamental. In a classical education, in the old days, for centuries and centuries, philosophies are always taught. And philosophy is really how we manage knowledge. So I'm an engineer and I work in the engineering world, and we study all these specific areas of science and engineering and physics, and we understand thermodynamics and all these things. But all those courses that we take are really specific tools that can help us understand things. We can apply that in the engineering world to solve a problem. But really, philosophy is sort of a larger umbrella of how we think. How do we manage and acquire knowledge, and how do we use it? So philosophy is a good word. We should all care about philosophy because we should all care about how we think, not just what we think, but how we think and how we apply that. And in today's high technology world, when you develop new products, it's very challenging, and it's really important that we understand how to approach a problem, how to solve a problem, and then how to implement the solutions to it. And it really takes math. So, we can look at things qualitatively, but we really need to move to the next step and look at them quantitatively. We need to measure those things. And the math is the language that we have in these relationships. So in engineering and science, it's really the math that is the logic between what we measure and then what we conclude from those measurements. So the math is a process. That's a quantitative process. Just like a math equation, you have an input, you have the equation, which is your process, and then you have your output. And in philosophy, that equation is the logic. So you can have sort of your premise, and then you have your logic, and that argument or that logic can either be valid or invalid, and then you have your conclusion. But in all cases, it's what goes in, what's our process, and what goes out. Obviously, garbage in, garbage out. But also, if we have good data, but we have the wrong equation, the wrong math, or the wrong reasoning process, then we're not going to make the right conclusions from that data. So this is all very important. So philosophy and math is really important. And the first, the reason it's my rant is that people, they react as if philosophy is an abstract thing that isn't used, and kind of roll their eyes. And with math, they just kind of have a reluctance. As soon as you go into math, say, let's go through the math, you tend to get resistance as well. And what happens when you have sound philosophy and you have a math-based approach to looking at evidence, you start getting away from opinion-driven conversations. And opinion-driven conversations really don't have a high probability of a successful decision. Our goal in our work, in our life, is generally to make good decisions. I mean, everything is about how we make decisions, and often those decisions are not perfect. Anyways, I think maybe it's something people have to take a fresh look at their relationship with philosophy and math. And who cares what grades you got in school or how well you did? It's not a contest. But really, philosophy and math are essential, and in business, it's essential to really embrace math and quantifying things and processing them in an objective, evidence-driven process. In the end, you're going to have better results. So that's my rant for the day on a Saturday.